Hey,
Hey, welcome to GMSONIC. How y'all doing today?
well,
Swimming with the fishes.
yeah, I mean, it started as a good day actually, but once again, we're back in tariff war volatility land.
Dude, where's Mew, bro? We needed to weigh in on this, man. We
I
gotta get
think,
someone to navigate these tariffs, bro, because like this battle between China, between East and West, it can't keep going on, bro. It's fucking up my pockets now.
I mean, look at this. Look at that. That is the S&P. That is not, you know, a new BNB meme coin. That is the S&P chart right now.
This guy Trump is addicted to making everyone look like an asshole, dude. Because let me tell you, remember last time we were talking about this? I was like, oh, they're gonna like probably like do everything they can to keep the price going up because it's like the one thing they got right now. It's the one thing they
Mhm.
can kind of control. And then what happens the very next day we got a show, he just shits the bed, dude. Look at this. This is insane.
Well, the stat here is even worse. It says basically, I didn't pull the tweet up because it really is a wall. I mean, it's like a wall of text. But at 10:57, he published his giant wall of text being mad at China. By 11 a.m., $700 billion of market cap had been wiped out of the S&P. Like 3 minutes. Three
That's
minutes.
crazy, dude.
So yeah, the market was actually not looking too bad when I got up this morning, but I mean, yeah, I mean, you can't really. I mean, hey, the good news is we can't necessarily blame our, favorite asset S on this
Yeah.
one because everybody has
Hey,
nuked,
Cronia,
including equities, everything.
Cronia, you get the day off the cross. You know what I'm saying? You get the day off. We're not gonna beat you anymore. Same with you, Kong and Mitchell and everyone else.
Yeah, I mean,
This
I'm looking at my phone here just because like I have like this thing that's like a giant price feed on my phone. But yeah, I mean, actually, S compared to everything else is actually hanging in there really, because yeah, everything is tumbling right now. Major nuke.
Yeah, I think the one also Warlock brings up a good point. Nice timing releasing the Kaito airdrop with this news. Yeah, it's a little sugar helps the medicine go down. You know.
Well, I was
Also, wait, I was bitching, dude. I'm sorry, I was bitching, Drac. I was saying I was so upset. I was like, I didn't get shit, dude. But it turns out I actually did, and it was bigger than my fucking regular airdrop. So
I gotta say it's nice to see everybody pleased with the distribution because that goes live and then you expect the next thing is everyone's just gonna be like, I hate my distribution and I hate you. But really put a lot of thought into the distribution. Top 100 was top heavy, but we didn't want it to be a scenario where, you know, you're in the 200-300s and you're getting like nothing. So I actually had the number whiz Johan crunch the numbers on it, figure out how we could really, even for the people lower on the leaderboard, seem to feel like okay, like that's pretty nice reward, whatever. So yeah, I was back channeling last night. I was getting news that there was some stuff going on in the CCP. There were some rumblings, some rumors, and I said we got to drop it tomorrow. We got to put it out on a red day. So yeah, everything's going according to plan so far. So
yeah, I'm surprised that like you're still in good graces with those CCP guys, considering like your relationship with the Binance cartel. But I guess they are rivals at this point.
yeah, I mean,
Not to talk too much inside baseball,
yeah,
you know.
I mean, we've had a little, we've had our tiffs in the past, me and the Binance cartel, but they've finally just accepted that, I'm gonna move the market how I feel like moving the market, and it's better to work with me than us keep fighting over like what direction we're gonna push everything. So
Yeah. I think that's a wise decision on their part, especially if they want to see Aster ever break out of the McDonald's formation.
yeah,
But
I mean, not gonna happen on my watch. So
but so that I mean that is like a little bit of good news. I was quite pleased with my little airdrop, right? Because I also I think Warlock's joking here, but I thought I would get it without even trying. But like I did get a pretty decent airdrop for kind of just posting about S like I normally do and trying to like get hype. I wasn't doing like huge think piece essays and AI generated stuff. So, and these seasons are going to continue to roll out, right? Like, so like,
yeah, so it shifted kind of like when I reformulated the plan, we were already in month 2 of what was going to be like a 6-month campaign. So the goal from the start was to turn it into 1-month dashes, but obviously that was going to be complicated that we were already in month 2. So yeah, that was kind of the goal, was like, okay, this first round will be 3 months, but now we're shifting to like month dashes at a time, where like hopefully we can also, take advantage of, if there's incentives or, there's programs going on or whatever, we can kind of be agile. If there's not a lot going on, we can like say, hey, we're going to like, hold off this month or whatever, so it just gives us more flexibility. But more than that, also, it's that people just prefer, that was the problem when I came in on it, that I had said in the original article, was just that you're asking people to work for 6 months when they can do other campaigns that are only 4, 6, 8 weeks, whatever. So yeah, all in all, shout out to the Kaito team. They worked really hard on this too. They worked, they helped out a ton with the claims and everything. So yeah, I mean, there was a lot of scrambling here these last 2 or 3 days, but once everything went live, it's like, everybody's happy with the distro so far. Claim process going smoothly. So all in all, I suspect it is a success so far.
Hell yeah, dude. I mean, everyone seems pretty stoked about it so far. And I mean, I'll just contrast this with the regular airdrop, which no one even talks about, and we don't even talk about it really much anymore. But like there's like actual like some excitement about the Kaito one continuing month by month because of the success of this so far, and like the changes, like you said, make a lot of sense. Like that kind of agility month to month.
Yeah.
Like thinking about it, like kind of like if there's like a lever to control the community, you want it to be like, to control like kind of community actions. You want to be able to like manipulate it more fine-tuned than like over a 6-month period, right? Like anyway.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, I mean, it was funny just because, part of those changes were because, I came in and I was like, this is a huge program, and, it's getting less interaction than some programs that are a lot smaller in terms of rewards. And it's mostly just because of those things I was talking about, where, it was like the campaign's too long. We were going to like, it was going to be like vested FNFTs again. It was like, nah, people want liquid, like, I don't know. I think it's gone well. So
yeah, I think you're right, dude. I think you're right. Short time frame is a good way of putting it. We're not Monad, dude. No one wants to fucking Discord farm for 4 years on the off chance that hopefully I get some kind of allocation.
Yeah, what's funny is this was getting tossed around a lot, like in group chats. It was like, man, Monad's finally going live, man. Tuesday, the token. Well, then I came to find out that it's actually not going live Tuesday. People are just getting their tokens. So I'm guessing that, centralized exchanges, I'm assuming trading is also going to go live, but still no network. So
still no network.
You're gonna have tokens, but they're still not mainnet. So
it's crazy that I can long and short them 3x and they're not even live. Like I can't like I can place more bets on their tokens than things I can do with their token, if that makes sense. Right.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
more functionality around it than in it.
Yeah. So like somebody that's actually like in kind of like the Monad circle was who like filled me in on that, where they're like, no, it's just the token. And they said, honestly, I think it's that they're shooting for like end of October, early November for mainnet, which to me is crazy. Like why go ahead and give everybody tokens and everything else? But I don't know,
We'll see. Another interesting thing to watch here, I think, just kind of like in comparison to say like how, you work in this industry, it's always important, I think, to see like how other teams are structuring their incentives, handling their launches, and like obviously how are they handling the token, like how are they handling the distribution and kind of controlling the chart as much as they can. So interesting stuff.
Yeah, Yankee says, if the network isn't live, how are they moving tokens around? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, yeah, I actually have no clue. It could be like I could have it totally wrong, because I mean, I don't have an allo, so I don't know. But, if you recall like the pump launch, they were able to kind of like control the flow based on like it's probably like you find out what tokens you're getting, but you're not actually drop them. That would be my speculation, is that, it's more like, cool, I know what I'm getting, but the tokens are, I mean, it might not even be trading on centralized exchanges. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I found it confusing as well, though, that they were like, airdrop is Tuesday, but they're still not a network. So I have no clue what they're planning here.
Yeah. It's weird stuff. But hey, lots of weird stuff happening right now, right? So what else we got on like macro news? Do we want to look at the charts, or is it too fucking brutal, dude? Is it not is it not kosher for the weekend?
Well, we could pull it up in a second. I had a couple other things
Sure.
on the macro, which was basically like, summing up the wall of text that, Trump had earlier. Was they gave like, see letter here gave like a nice little bullet point, which was, China's becoming very hostile in controlling rare earth minerals. Trump said he felt like China was always lying, and now he knows they were. He says that China's holding the world captive in a monopoly position. They had a scheduled meeting in like 2 or 3 weeks. He said, I'm not going to the meeting. So he's pouting. And he says, we're preparing massive tariff increase on Chinese products. And he said, there's a lot of other measures that I'm currently considering.
Yeah. Follow zone. That's pretty true, dude. As soon as I saw how long it was, I knew we were in for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Like you see like the 10, 12, I don't know how many sentences with like only like one period in the whole thing. Like, you're cooked.
Like, so I mean, this is like, I think the only people that benefited from this were people that were holding things like MP and maybe UUU and like other rare earth mineral manufacturers based in America and in like South America, I think. Literally the only people, every single other person took a wash on this, dude. Like, and even then the gains were not like super insane. So
yeah, like I haven't seen the charts, but yeah, I did hear that, some of these rare earth mineral, adjacent companies and stuff did have like a little pump off it compared to everything else nuking. But yeah, I mean, I've had trouble actually finding like exactly what set them off. I mean, it's from what I see here, it's something about Beijing. They're
I have
gonna add all these steps into like, how things get exported or
So, I mean, I don't want to get like super political, but this is an inherently political topic, so I gotta do it. It's kind of ironic that he's saying like China is becoming very hostile controlling rare earths, because this is like a direct response to the tariffs that Trump has already placed, and two, his like very aggressive stance about and stated purpose of cutting China out of like the semiconductor industry. So obviously they're gonna be like, well, we're gonna do what we can to fuck you in the same industry, right? Like if you don't want us to get the chips, we won't let you get the parts. So it makes sense. Warlock.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it's kind of like you go into like a pawn shop and you ask the guy if you can buy the gun that you're about to hold him up with.
Yeah.
It's like, can you please make sure we get a good deal on the materials so that we can compete against your production?
Yeah, it's crazy. So like here's I saw this like last night before I went in. They've had articles come out since, but this guy actually broke the story to me on X, but he posted like a Chinese thing. So I didn't believe him at first, right? Because despite me knowing Dogbone Village, I don't know Chinese well enough to read a forward press release on rare earth minerals. But the thing is, what is it here? Oh yeah, so ahead of the meeting that was planned, China curbed the export of 5 new rare earth elements, right? But the big thing is foreign producers who use Chinese tech and material were required to comply. Foreign semiconductors, will face scrutiny. So it's like, it doesn't matter like if the chip is assembled in Phoenix, Arizona or whatever. With the new rule that Beijing came up with, if you're selling it to anybody, if you're pulling in the materials, transforming the materials, and then selling the finished product, at any point, Beijing has to approve it. So
Yeah.
Warlock, this is interesting. USA has been doing this for years. For Brazil, they buy raw materials and then sell refined to us at 10. Well, I mean, that's just that's just the world economy. The problem is like, well, I guess he's describing the existing process of like what America was doing, extracting rare earth minerals, processing them in like Taiwan or whatever, making chips. But yeah, this kind of circumstance is like much more kind of like the US's restrictions on like uranium and shit, right? Like you can't build a reactor, you can't build anything unless we approve it, kind of. But this is even more particular. Like you can't sell products. So kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
If you're a Texas-based tech company and and you can't sell your products because Beijing's telling you can't. Really big flashpoint for American politics.
Yeah, no, I mean it's you know, it's like I said, I had a post the other day that said, you know, you would think you were like living in a, you know, if someone told me 10 years ago that this market bubble would be all around AI and currency debasement, you know, would think it was like a sci-fi book you were describing or something. It's like it's interesting how it's like, yeah, I mean, we're just moving into this like chaotic arena that has always been like foretold in like dystopian models, you know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, like the currency is debasing, China's controlling the trade, like, you know what I mean? It's getting very interesting.
It is getting interesting, dude. I can totally feel it. Feels like something big has to happen, especially like, you know, when we're talking about like the American economy is supported by 7 companies at this point,
Hmm.
and what like all 7 of them are big in AI. So like
Yeah, that's
this
been
is
a concern for a long time is the tech, you know, obviously most people have heard of the top 7 or whatever, but before it was the top 7, you know, I think they called it the top 10, the top 15. And there's been for years now, people kind of like trying to point that out. Like, you
oh
know,
yeah.
we need more like fundamentals in the S&P. We need more of this. We need more of that because, you know,
Did
right
I talk,
now,
did we talk about this? There's a great video that came out like last week where this guy was talking about he's comparing to the Nifty 50 bubble. You ever heard of the Nifty 50 bubble? That was like in the
mm-mm.
70s. So in the 50s, or no, in the 70s, they had this thing called the Nifty 50 bubble. Because it's interesting because comparing it to the AI thing, it's different in character, but in psychology, it's the same. So in the 70s, right? Like you got these 50 companies that are holding up the American economy and they're good as fuck companies, right? Coca-Cola, American Express, like strong revenue,
Mhm.
strong growth, strong business model. Doesn't look like it's going anywhere. No one's going to stop drinking Coca-Cola. No one's going to stop buying McDonald's. No one's going to stop buying shit on their credit card, right? Makes sense. So the psychology around it became this shit's going to go up forever. We're in a new paradigm of industry.
Yeah.
One decision stocks. All the smartest guys on Wall Street are saying there's only one decision to make about these stocks. Buy them, right? Does
Yeah.
that remind you anything about, say, like Tesla,
Yeah.
Amazon, Apple, Netflix, whatever?
Yeah.
But the big difference is price to earnings ratios back then, right? So one big difference between 50 stocks, 50 diverse companies as well across different industry verticals, right? We got credit, we got food, we've got manufacturing, we've got tech, right? Now, and all of these, the worst of these were trading at like a 15x price to earnings ratio, which is kind of high. But like when you get to the modern day, you know,
Yeah.
what's Tesla's price to earning ratio?
I mean, yeah, that's the scary part. That's something else that is, you know, raised often is just that, you know, on top of
250, dude. It's
yeah, I mean,
250, bro.
yeah, like on top of, you know, on top of them all being tech and like heavy in AI and everything else, it's just like even like the earnings and everything else, you're basing it off of
Future growth.
speculation, speculative technology versus like what you're saying when it's like, yeah, these companies were all like making crazy revenue and they all had like solid fundamentals and it was diversified and it was, you know,
Yeah. So like think about how fucked that is, dude. When like these were like solid companies that are diversified, solid revenue. We're not just predicting growth. It's like the thing makes money now. It makes a
yeah.
lot of money now. So obviously I want a dividend, right? Compared to like now. So 50 shrunk to 7. One that's like what do they call that? Potency or like concentration? The concentration's insane and the diversification is non-existent because all of these companies are extremely reliant on each other, on getting the chips from each other, on getting the IP from each other, the data. They're all trading it back and forth, right?
Yeah.
And like the price to earning ratios are insane. So yeah, the crash could be brutal, dude. It's going to be like an emperor has no clothes moment. Now, what does that mean for us in crypto? Well, the thesis of debasement, right? And
Yeah.
this international economy, but it's going to hurt no matter what, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's like we have like two races going on right now. You
Mhm.
know, it's like there is the race of like what we're talking about here, which is when does the buck stop? You know,
Mhm.
when does the music stop? And then also the race against debasement, where, you know, traditionally it would actually be good for assets and make assets pump, you know, like what we're dealing with right now, where they're saying, you know, they want to outpace debasement and inflation and everything else. So yeah, hopefully we win the other way. You know, we win the race for assets, not the race against like the entire equities and everything else is going to like, you know, have some kind of like crazy, I don't know, some crazy like Black Swan-esque event where we have to reset, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if anything, I think honestly, if a reset does happen, it might actually be extremely beneficial to the crypto economy because then we can leverage stronger integrations. But we'll see. It'll be some time. I'm here for the long haul, buddy. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's take a quick look at the charts, dude, because it like crypto did take a pretty big hit, BTC, right?
Yeah, I mean, I had Ethereum pulled up because not
Mhm.
a terrible, you know, obviously a big wick there. Wick's already getting eaten up some. Little meme line being respected right now. So that leads me to like think, okay, well, maybe obviously it's like knee-jerk reaction and people are viewing this as more like a dip opportunity. You know, if you looked at the Bitcoin weekly, which we enjoy looking at, you
Mhm.
would think like everything's just fine. But, you know, the reality is Bitcoin dipped under 120 briefly. Same deal. Let's go to the daily on that. Okay. So, yeah, exact same deal on the Bitcoin daily. Had a big dip, you know, went under 120, but got eaten up really fast. So, to me, there's, you know, there's some hopium there that looking at, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum, it looks more like people said, oh, this is another tariff knee jerk sell off. I'm gonna like scoop some, you know, cheap tokens up while I can.
Mhm.
So there's a little hope. You know, it's like these things always manage to happen on Friday. So it's like, you know, we're going into the weekend, the real Wild West. So expect volatility over the weekend, I imagine.
Yeah, some insane volatility. I hope you weren't getting chopped up on longs like I was over the course of the week, trying to catch the knife here, trying to catch a bottom. But hopefully things turn around here. I like looking at the daily or like the weekly did make me feel better. It made me feel a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, it's the daily chart, you know, it's like that's what it says to me is, you know,
Mhm.
right now supports are being respected, dips are being eaten. So to me, I'm not panicking too hard here.
Right on. Yeah, so there's hope, dude. What about Bitcoin dominance, dude? I mean, like, it doesn't matter. Everything's just red. Look at that chart. Look to the right, dude. It's just brutal.
Well, over the week, that's also been
Oh,
something
wait,
that's
you guys didn't pivot to Litecoin? You didn't pivot to Litecoin? What are you, stupid?
yeah, I mean, that's been something that's also been discussed lately is that we were having kind of like a slight rally against Bitcoin dominance, but we had a dip there and we started to kind of like regain. So we're back around like 60, 60% area. So yeah, it's just not budging, man. And I just don't know if it ever will.
BTC might just be king forever now, dude. BTC and Sonic, your two the two things you need in your portfolio only.
Yeah, yeah. So I don't know. We've said it a million times, so no point in
Mhm.
going over the entire thesis, but curious to see how this will affect alts. You know, are we going to have alt season or are we just going to have endless bubbles and rotations and, all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff?
Yeah, it's brutal. But what else has been going on, guys? Let's talk a little bit about the eco, maybe. Let's talk about a little bit about what's going on Sonic, dude. One thing I
Yeah.
got. You guys want to hear me shill something here real quick? Spooky Swaps perps referrals are up. So I've got a code. So use referral code Corval. Use referral code Corval to trade some perps on Spooky.
There you
I
go.
know I will. I'm gonna be trading perps on like 4 different dexes, dude. I think because I'm trying to get some of this airdrop that I'm always seeing people get. I don't know if Spooky's announced anything like that, but it seems like with this landscape, they got to do something.
I think it was actually not Singapore, but the show the week before. Can't remember what that one was called. I think that was in Korea. But yeah, I think they announced that there was going to be some kind of incentive program like everyone else is doing. So maybe you'll get lucky there.
Yeah, Zorgblat. That might be true, and that kind of pisses me off. That alt season happened in crypto stocks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, before the nuke today, everybody was sharing the Nvidia chart, which was just like, straight up.
yeah, it's unbelievable, dude. So I just wanted to show kind of off like the Spooky interface because it's kind of nice. It's nice and simple, right? It's pretty much just all I use. I just use market and limit. I don't even TWAP on these kinds of things. up to 20x leverage on S, which is like way better than what I'm getting on Hyperliquid. And yeah, nice little list of assets here. So guys, I would check it out. Trade on S, you know, fast, efficient. Also, it's your home, dude.
It's your home.
No, but I think it is also kind of a nice asymmetric bet possibly right here. Aster is extremely crowded. So like, who knows what size airdrop will actually get on Aster. I mean, they are rich, but something like Spooky might give me a better return here. Might give us all one if we all use my referral code.
Yeah,
before Flight comes and kills them all, I guess.
Follow says we need FT so we can get liquidated on there too.
Yeah, that's right. It's coming. I'm excited. I was doing on that solo stream. We were looking a little bit more into the docs. Some good stuff on Flying Tulip, dude. Still some kind of, I guess, unclear things, but I'm sure that'll like become more clear as we get closer to the date. I'm sure they're still working out some of the details. But have you taken a look at the tokenomics of it yet, Drake?
Oh, not yet. Wait, hold on. I was just reading something. You're talking about Flying Tulip?
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I've actually taken a pretty good look at that. I mean, I think what's important about it is, you know, they're going to be doing these buybacks, they're going to be burns, but there's not a lot of like, you know, there's like no inflation to it basically. And yeah, it's capped at, if I recall, 10 billion tokens. So anytime you have that kind of situation versus like, okay, we're going to have like this like emission schedule, from what I gathered, it's like they will like, you could potentially mint, you know, those tokens until like it runs out, and then it's like boom, you know, it's the system has started. So yeah, you don't have like some crazy long like emission schedule or, you know, anything like that. So I think it's like, in terms of a big project, I don't think there's been anything that has tokenomics this geared towards like users and not just benefiting, you know, VCs and, you know, the protocol team and everything else. I mean, it's insanely friendly to investors in terms of the way it's structured.
Yeah. It's also, I think it could be a great example of like I think he called it this, the more fairer launch or whatever, like how to effectively
fair
increases. Dubass I read that Impossible requires KYC for pre-sale and doesn't allow US citizens. Do you think Flying Tulip will require KYC and allow US citizen? That's a good question. It seems like it's likely that it will, considering what Andre was saying in terms of like all the work they put in towards like regulation, like figuring out how to navigate the regulations. That thing about Impossible is kind of fucked up because I put in a request for the investment opportunity through Impossible. So I hope I don't get fucking owned for being a US citizen.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'm curious to see as well. You know, I don't have any information on that yet. Now, there's two sides of that coin. They spent a lot of time working towards regulation, but if I recall, Andre did have a post kind of like saying that they've kind of like reached the limit of where they can get on those talks. So on the other side of that coin, maybe that means that, you know, a lot of people, like a lot of projects actually lifted their KYC based on like some of the climate right now in the US. So yeah, I think it could go either way, honestly. I think that they were like trying to get like super compliant, but I don't know the exact details. But yeah, like Andre had a message, like a post about like how that had kind of gotten like to a point where it was just, you know, hey, we can't really go any further. So we're kind of just like, you know, not worrying about that. We're shifting gears.
Damn, bro. Yankee Ruin has some good gossip here. Possible's allegedly already filed 200 million of the public allocation from what I've heard. So I'm out of luck, dude. They're not getting my $5,000, okay? And unlikely that I would qualify anywhere, considering they did ask if I was a no, it's not qualified trade. It's like accredited investor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, I'm gonna be in the TG just like everyone else, the public sale just like everybody else.
Yeah, and then I was gonna share. Let's see here. There was a couple little milestone kind of deals, pretty big ones actually. Let's see here. We had two different projects cross $1 billion in trading volume.
Hell yeah.
So Metro has now joined the club, over $1 billion moved through the decks. And also Express, which, you know, is also a club dex that's live on Sonic right now. So yeah, Warlock says Express seems to be doing well. You can get 300 vault. And yeah, I haven't checked out the vaults, but I know that they are, you know, it's kind of like you can put assets in there and earn fees and everything else. So yeah, I mean, if they got crazy volume, then everybody loves getting some real yield.
Yeah, I've been in those Metro vaults. I quite enjoy them. I haven't checked out the Express ones in a while, but I'm quite interested in getting someone who maybe is building these to talk about their strategy. So if you got a vault on, you want to shill it, come on and let us know. We can talk about it.
Yankee says about FT, that means that if Impossible has 200 million, then there's already been 400 of the 600 or 400 million filled, 600 left, right? Unless other people have early access. Yeah, I mean, I guess that just depends on, did they also get like a 200 mil allocation? This is all speculation, obviously. So
yeah. Do we think the test will slow down Boss, give us Normers a chance? I hope so, because you're right. The pump sale sold out really quick. So, I mean, I can only pray. I hope they have other anti-bot measures, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think that, I don't know. I think that if I had to guess, there's so much room left. I think it does fill up pretty fast, but I think most people will have like a chance to get in. That is just me also speculating, but $1 billion is a lot of money on any day. So
yeah. So, I mean, also congrats to these teams for getting this billions in revenue, especially since things have kind of slowed down a little bit in the last couple of weeks, but I think things will pick up again soon. Are we hanging our hat only on Flying Tulip, you think, Drac?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's, someone made a comment earlier, like, do you have an update on, this list of protocols that were all coming? And yeah, I mean, that's kind of the thing. I've described it before as we had like phase 1 of Sonic launch. That's where we got most of the dApps that we're still using now. And we're kind of like in this period where like phase 2 is getting ready. And yeah, I mean, we have a lot of these dApps about to launch, but they're not here yet. So it's like we need something, right? And Flying Tulip, it's kind of perfectly timed with the perp dex meta that's going on right now. Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely hanging my hat on it, hopefully doing like good things for the network. And, I think it's just going to be like, I don't know, hopefully like an exciting time, I would imagine, like I think there's going to be a lot of action on the timeline, a lot of people talking about it. I mean, when, Andre drops a new project, people pay attention. So
True, dude. I mean, billions of dollars worth of attention as well. So, did you ever use WOMO, dude?
I remember WOMO came out. There was WOMO and Reserve, and there was a couple of projects that were sort of like based around like mechanics, but no, I didn't get directly involved.
Bro, I did, dude. You will pull up the WOMO chart real quick, bro.
Yeah, let's see. So I know part of WOMO, the deal is that it had like kind of like sort of like how like does, like it had like a really like high
burn rate or rebase.
Like a high, like a big emission rate, but then the idea was that it stops and then, you're looking at it becoming deflationary.
That's exactly right, dude. The chart. So look at that, dude. Now, of course, my stack was reduced by like 90% in size, but I think I still came out on top here a little bit. It was quite crazy.
I mean, I think this was, like based on like the description of the project, it kind of sounds like this was what they assumed would happen eventually is, it's a lot of emissions, people are selling everything else. And then it's like, you finally hit that like supply shock. So I think the chart kind of reflects that.
Yeah, dude, we should get some more projects like this, dude. Just silly fun times, bro.
Yeah. I mean, I think that was also, we had that really brief, like Ponzi, whatever season where we got a bunch of tomb forks all of a sudden. There was some, like I said, there was Reserve and WOMO doing kind of like more like reserve currency stuff. Yeah, I'd like to see like anything right now. It's like you said, it's just like we're just kind of like we're just waiting for stuff to come out.
Feels like we're in a freaking holding pattern, dude. And like honestly, kind of fair enough because conditions are kind of, I mean, look, it sounds stupid to say it right now, but like at least this week conditions have been pretty uncomfy overall, I would say. But
let's just launch something.
This is what Spawn's going to happen, dude. This is what we're counting on Spawn for. I think Spawn is going to be a bigger deal actually than Flying Tulip. Call me crazy, dude. Flying Tulip is probably going to make a lot more people a lot more money, but I think Spawn could actually create a lot more activity because monkeys like me can start coming up with stupid Ponzi schemes.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I said, the amount of time I've played with it, I think once they get everything tweaked I think right now it's mostly just kind of like UI sort of tweaks. Like they're trying to get like the front end how they want it. But playing with some of the early versions, it was like, there's a lot that you can do.
Yeah, feels like Dogbone Village right now. You're right. Spawn supposedly going live a week ago. I think I misspoke when I said this. I think I announced it like wrong. It's not like it's live for like the alpha testers, like everyone that like did like the not alpha testers, even everyone who signed in for the, what do you call that? The pre.
Yeah, like the early
access,
whatever.
The early access list.
Pre-access.
Everyone. So originally, if you remember, like they only allowed like 100 or something people in from that list. And now, like anyone that was on the list is allowed in.
Yeah.
So cool stuff. Control. Hopefully you're in there, dude. Oh no, dude. I don't want to get geisted, dude. Said that earlier. We can repeat 2021 with Flying Tulip filling the role of Geist, bring big money to the chain, but we need something to fill the DJ and Ponzi side that Tomb did, so people can post screenshots of their gains. True point. Good point.
Yeah. I mean, the Geist launch was insane. I mean, that was a crazy couple days. If I remember right, Yankee probably knows this number, but if I remember right, it brought like $1 billion or something to the chain. I mean, it was something insane, but also the chart was like super parabolic, went up to some crazy thing. Then people were locked and, it was a whole thing, but it was a very like very hype moment. And I agree, Oh yeah. Yankee says it brought $2 billion in 24 hours. So yeah, that's insane.
That's crazy.
And then the fun part was probably $1 billion of that was just locked and dead forever. So
yeah, I remember that being the thing. Is a lot of people got geisted, dude.
Yeah, everybody was locking like day one as the price was already just like nuking. But yeah, and I agree about the Tomb thing. It's like say what you will about Tomb or anything else, but it's like those P&Ls always getting floated around. I feel like the Snake team has done like a really good job at like making a sustainable system. It's like we need something like Snake where it can actually like sustain the system, but at least at launch or whatever, we still get those crazy candles and P&L cards and everything else. So I'm challenging everyone here to get on that.
You know what? Like how Hype did their launch? I thought this was really smart. Is like when they did the airdrop, it showed like the price appreciation as like
I remember this
from like
$0. Yes.
So it's like it showed as you being up like 10,000%.
Yeah, just genius. Airdrop. Yeah, I remember that. It was like because I guess they just literally said it's a penny or something, and it dropped it. What did Hype drop at? Like $3 or $4?
Yeah,
something like that. So it was like immediately out the jump, you had this P&L card and you were like, oh man, like look at this. Look how up I am right now.
Yeah. It's smart, dude. It's smart. We should do that, dude. We're going to figure out a way to do that.
Yeah.
Dude, this guy is getting in my head, bro.
No. I don't know why. I mean, it's like if the show is so bad, I don't know why he sat here and watched it for an hour. That seems kind of also weird.
His name means I got to figure this out. I'm gonna learn some Chinese today. But yeah, we got something else to talk about here too, right? On our list. What was it? Sonic USD now live on Circle Gateway. Maybe you could explain the significance to me because I thought it was already like native and you could bridge it easily. It's just faster.
Yeah, I mean, so basically,
builders have access. Okay.
Yeah, so like Gateway is basically like, what it's laying out here, at least, where it's like you can pretty much move your USDC around to any of the chains it offers, and it basically, costs basically nothing, and you got like no slippage and like everything else. And a lot of people, Tether kind of has like something similar where it's like it's usually really good for like inflow because a lot of people, for instance, that are just like USDC or Tether whales or whatever, there are people out there that obviously are so risk averse that they will not even come to your chain unless they can get to it through like the official gateway or whatever. So yeah, it's a pretty bullish announcement, honestly. But in the current climate we're in, especially this week, it's kind of like, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, it's a good announcement. It's a big deal. But we'll see how that plays out.
Dude, the groundwork, bro. That's what I'm talking about, dude. The runway's all built, dude. We just got to get the planes coming in.
Yeah, I mean, Sonic has great infrastructure, and it has a lot of things already, they've already like got a lot of things built into the chain that you basically would take other chains years to get like all of this collected. So I mean, yeah, it's like the infrastructure is insane, really. So yeah, we need new builders, we need incentives to get the metrics back up. I'll give a shout to Yankee here, say we need crime candles, we need Ponzi's, we need new DeFi, like we got everything we need. We got amazing infrastructure, foundation, all that stuff.
We need brave Chinese patriots, dude. We need brave Chinese patriots launching every single day, dude.
I agree. That's what we need.
CZ is not your only homeboy, dude. Binance is not your only home. Come over here, dude. Launch Dogbone Village. Launch Chen Jiao Zhao. Like Baijiu, dude. Like launch Baijiu token, dude. Let's make this happen, bro. But no, for real. I was thinking about this. So how should we get motion right now? It's like the thing we're kind of missing right now is like those kind of incentive programs to juice it, get the flywheel start moving, right?
Yeah, I mean it's that's essentially like what you're describing. Yeah, like flywheel is the best way to describe it, where you need good APRs, you need good lending, you need good DeFi APRs. Like you need all this stuff to attract people to come to the chain and use it. And the thing about Sonic is so many people use it and are like I love the chain, I love using the chain. So it's like, yeah, like right now I think we have to focus on how do we bring metrics back, and how do we get more projects to keep moving over here,
Yeah, okay. Dr. DeFi, CCTP burn on one chain and on the other, gateway always STC is the same no matter what. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I kind of feel like I remembered that. I feel like I knew that. Like most bridging was just burn and mint, which is like,
yeah, like that's why like I said, a lot of people they will not move their funds around unless they're basically using gateway. So
yeah, kind of a risk. This is a neat idea by Warlock. A really ill-released an allocation FT token. Buy it. I promise to use the funds to get us FT. Maybe that's what we should do, guys. We should click up. Since none of us are accredited investors, if we click up, we can pool enough money. Andre will have to let us get at least one flying Tulip token.
Yeah, man. Well, that's really all we got for today. We'll see you guys Tuesday. We always appreciate it. Even the guy in here that's upset that I'm not sure what he's actually upset about. I don't know what we're supposed to do about it. But
that guy's a bot, I think, or like he is using a bot, because one time he posted on every single one of my replies the same exact paragraph, which is like psycho behavior. So I would give him the benefit of the doubt that he's a bot.
Yeah, seems normal.
GMSONIC is Corval, Drac, and Mew Mew.